Hello, children. Good morning. First of all, I'll tell you that for recording this class, I'm sitting in a classroom of your school. I'm sitting in one of the rooms of our school. So nice, isn't it? But it is not nice for me because I am coming to school, but I'm not seeing you all. So that is very bad for me. Once a teacher comes to school, he is nothing without his students. When you all start coming to school, then only our coming to school will be successful, or else it is not good. I don't like empty classrooms, empty playground, empty corridor. I don't like. So, though I am sitting in a classroom, but as you all are not here, so it is not good for me. I am not liking it. Anyway, this is life. We have to carry on with it. Hopefully, very shortly, our classes will open for the junior section also, and we will be meeting each other. But we have not met each other, isn't it? We don't know anybody's name. I don't know anybody by name. I don't know anybody by face because we have not met each other. Nor you have met me in person. You have seen my photograph. You have seen my recorded class, but you have not met me in person. So, we'll meet once the classes resume, when the classes restart, maybe 1 month or 1.5 months later, we'll all come together, we'll all come to know each other, we'll all understand each other, and that is how we'll continue with our studies. Thank you, children. Now, let us see what happened to the Meg and Joe in the party. We have seen that Meg has met that Lawrence boy who is their neighbor, and they started talking. Slowly, Meg has become easy. Though her dress was burnt and she has mended it all right, but even then she was a bit shy initially to move around here and there lest people see it. But now, after talking to Lawrence, she has become quite frank and she is feeling a bit easy. Let us see what happened next. Meg's shoes. But Laurie didn't laugh. He said very quickly, never mind that. I know what we can do. There is a hall out there. We can dance there very well and nobody will see us. Please come. So Laurie said, there is a hall where nobody will see us. We can dance there. Joe thanked him and went gladly. The hall was empty. So they danced and enjoyed themselves. For Laurie danced well. Laurie was a good dancer. Laurie danced well. When the music stopped, they sat on the stairs to rest. Laurie was telling Joe about a party they had at college when Meg appeared. Actually, Meg also was searching for them. So, searching them, she reached near them. At that time, Lawrence was telling Joe about a party that he had at his college. She looked pale and was looking for her sister. Joe asked Laurie to excuse her and followed her to another room to ask what was wrong. I have hurt my foot. The high heel on my new shoe turned over. It hurts so much, I don't know. I am going to get home, cried Meg. Meg's shoes, they were hurting her and she was feeling pain on her legs. I knew you would hurt your feet with those silly shoes. Oh, I'm sorry, dear, but I don't know what you can do. We will have to get a carriage. Carriage means a vehicle with 4 wheels pulled by horses. Or stay here all night. Because she cannot go barefooted, isn't it? Her feet was also hurting. So there were only 2 options. Either they arrange a carriage or stay there whole night. See, this is a carriage, horses pulling a four-wheeled cart, said Joe. She rubbed the painful foot softly as she spoke. I can't have a carriage. It costs too much, and I can't stay here because I know the house is full. I'll rest until Hannah comes and then do the best I can. Hannah, who was Hannah? Their maid. So Meg rested while Joe went to see what she could do to get Meg home. She found a servant and was explaining what she needed when Laurie came along. When he heard what she said, he asked them to go in his grandfather's carriage. Joe thanked him and went to get Meg and Hannah, for Hannah had arrived to take her young ladies home. Home in a carriage. So they will be going home in the carriage of Laurie's grandfather. As they all got into the carriage, Laurie climbed up by the driver so that Meg could lay her foot on the empty seat opposite her. Just see how cooperative they are, how nice they are. Their neighbors also are so nice. The girls felt very rich and grand and talked about the party all the way home. I have had a lovely time, have you? Asked Joe. Yes, till I hurt my foot. Meg says, yes, I was also having a nice time up to the time I hurt my foot. I hurt my foot and then it all went haywire. Sally Gardiner's friend has asked me to spend a week at her home in the spring when Sally goes. I hope that mother will let me go, answered Meg. She was quite cheered just thinking about it. Then Joe told Meg all about her talk and dancing with Laurie. By the time she had finished, they were home. So now they have reached home. Let us see what happens at home. Thanking Laurie once more, they said good night and went in silently, hoping not to wake anyone up. But when they went into their bedroom, two eager voices cried out, "Tell us about the party." Okay, children, can you tell me who those two children were who cried and said, "Tell us about the party"? Their sisters, Beth and the other sister, what was her name? Amy. Tell us about the party. Meg said they were very impolite. Joe had brought back some sweets for Beth and Amy. When they had heard about the most exciting parts of the evening, they soon fell asleep. Oh, I feel like a really grand young lady. I have come home from a party in a carriage. Now I am sitting on a comfortable chair with someone helping me. Who was helping her? Her sister was helping her because she had hurt her feet, said Meg, while Joe first took care of her aching foot and then brushed her hair. Joe said, I don't believe grand young ladies enjoy themselves any more than we do. Even though we have burnt hair, old dresses, one glove each, and tight shoes, which hurt when we are silly enough to wear them. Joe says that I don't think actually the grand young ladies enjoy more than us. Okay, though we have nothing as compared to them. We have burnt dresses, our hairs are burnt, dresses are burnt, we don't have good shoes, we have shoes which will hurt our legs, we don't have good gloves, but even then we enjoy as much as the grand young ladies enjoy. Why? Why do you think so? Because they had that love and affection for each other. This is most important, love and affection for each other. So all the sisters, they had love and affection for each other. Not only the sisters, in this story we are seeing that their neighbors are also equally good. They are also polite, they are also cooperative, they are helpful, they want to help each other. Their mother has taught them to be so polite and nice, and that's the reason they are so good. So this story itself gives us all good lesson and makes us feel very happy, makes us feel as if the world is so good. And actually world can be good if we all take care of each other, we cooperate with each other, we love each other, don't have the feeling of jealousy, we don't have the feeling of hatred, we don't hate anybody, then the world will become actually good. Okay, that's what I want to tell you. Okay, children. This is a very, very good story. Try to read the next chapter also, that's loads, by yourself. But as far as the syllabus for unit test 2 is concerned, this is the syllabus up to the party. Up to the party is the syllabus. Questions will come from this up to this chapter, the party, not beyond. And the moment I have made the questions, I'll try to discuss the type of questions that are likely to come in the examination, just as I did for social studies. I think it has been helpful to you, social studies, as I discuss the questions. Same thing I'll do for English literature also, provided time permits. Okay? Otherwise, I can tell you the questions will be simple, but the questions will be from the book, entire book. So you have to read the entire book thoroughly. Okay, children? Bye then.